Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're unpacking a really specific piece of hardware that's designed to solve some really big audio problems.
We're looking at the Aurora DTX-6464D. It's a 64x64 Dante DSP aggregator.
And our mission today is to figure out what that actually means and how a device like this can change sound management in really big commercial spaces.
Right. Think about huge houses of worship or a whole chain of bars and restaurants, big conferencing centers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and the source material makes a really bold promise here. It says it's built to deliver pristine audio while, and this is the key part, slashing the device count and cabling costs.
Which is huge. It suggests we can finally stop pulling just, miles of analog wire everywhere.
Okay, so that promise has to come from somewhere. It must be about density.
It's all about density and power. The spec sheet is pretty clear. We're talking a 64x64 Dante I/O capacity.
Wait, 64 by 64, that is massive. Is that why it needs such specific processors? Or is it more about just keeping it stable?
It's both. You need the power to manage all those channels, but you also need to make sure the quality stays, rock solid.
So what's the engine here?
The engine inside is two ADI Shark 200-489 processors. Each one is running at 450 millihertz.
And that's what keeps the audio at that 24-bit, 48 kilohertz quality.
Exactly. And it's also what gives it that incredible speed.
The latency.
The system latency is specified at less than 6 milliseconds.
So for you, the listener, that means in a conference or a live show, there is absolutely no noticeable delay.
Yeah.
It just feels instant.
It feels completely instantaneous.
And it's not just the raw power. I was looking at the physical features, the dual Dante ports, the dedicated LAN port. But the one that stood out to me was the integrated USB sound card. I mean, that's a small detail, but in the field, that saves an installer a huge headache, doesn't it? For playback and recording without extra gear.
Oh, it's the ultimate utility feature. It streamlines everything right out of the box.
Okay, so let's unpack this core concept then. The aggregator topology. Why is that so different from just, one giant DSP rack in a server closet?
It's a fascinating architectural shift, really. Instead of thinking of the DTX-6464D as the single central brain, think of it more like the central highway interchange. It's there to manage all the high-density traffic.
So it delegates the actual hard work.
Precisely. It allows the heavy DSP processing to be distributed out to smaller, local DSPs that are physically closer to the microphones and speakers.
Okay, so right away I see cost savings there. But you mentioned something earlier about survivability. That seems critical.
It is. In a traditional centralized system, if that one main DSP fails, the entire building goes silent.
A whole venue is dark.
Yeah. With this aggregator model, if one small local processor goes down, only that one zone is affected. The rest of the venue stays fully operational.
And for a big corporate or government install, that's completely non-negotiable. But there's another benefit here that I have to admit kind of surprised me. You're saying this actually improves the quality of any analog signals you still have in the system.
It's just physics, really. By keeping the DSP connections short and close to the endpoints, you get rid of those long analog cable runs.
Which is where you get all the classic AV gremlins.
The hum, the buzz, the ground loops, all of it. This design just sidesteps those issues completely. It helps it achieve that impressive 115 dB Dante dynamic range. You're just getting clean audio.
So we have the tech sorted.
Yeah.
But in the real world, budgets and compliance are king.
And it's designed for that. We should note for you, the learner, that the DTX-6464D is TAA compliant.
Which, for anyone dealing with government or educational budgets, is a massive deal. It means it meets U.S. trade agreement standards, which makes procurement way smoother.
And makes it a genuinely budget-friendly option.
So to wrap this up, the big takeaway is that this device is all about optimizing large-scale AV through high-density networking and distributed processing.
Yeah.
It's doing more with less.
It is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the source material points out that this is an ideal complement to Aurora's other systems, their IPX and VPX video over IP solutions.
So it all fits together.
Right. And that raises a really interesting final question for you to think about. If you can aggregate high-density audio like this and you can run all your video over IP, how much further can that total system convergence shrink the physical footprint of these complex AV installations in the future?